Hi, it's Grandma Ray. I love children, I love books, and I especially love reading books to children. In this video, I am reading and recommending The Grannyman. It's a book about a cat. And the words and the pictures are by Judith Byron Schachner. Here we go. Simon was a very old cat. There's Simon. And he's very old. With the exception of his nose, most of his parts had stopped working long ago. He was blind and deaf, and his bones creaked as he climbed up and down the stairs. Simon's family adored him and did all they could to keep him comfy in his old age. So he couldn't really see and he couldn't really hear, and it hurt to move. Meal times were messy for the toothless old cat, so the family bought Simon a bib to catch all the dribbles. It's bad enough that I have to eat baby food, thought Simon, without having to look like one too. But Simon loved the many heat treatments his family provided for him throughout the house. He basked and baked his achy bones until he was almost too hot to touch. See, looky there, he's got lots of places around the house that he finds a warm spot. When you get old, warm spaces feel good on your bones. When Simon slept in bed at night, he snored and sneezed and drooled and breathed stinky old cat breath right into their faces. But his family didn't mind, because they would do anything for their dear old cat. On other nights, he stayed put on the calico chair in the corner, staring into space while he shuffled through a lifetime of old memories. When you get old, it's fun to remember back to times in the past. Simon could still remember what it was like after he was born. The place was crawling with kittens that looked exactly like him. One by one, each of the kittens went off to a new home with their nice families. All but him. Nobody wanted the runt with the crooked tail and runny nose. The runt is the smallest one of the litter. It's the smallest one. So that was Simon. He was the smallest one. But then one day a nice couple found him irresistible, especially his crooked tail. They put a hanky to his nose, placed him in a bucket, and carried him to their home. They called him Simon. Simon loved being a kitten. He climbed, he clawed, he chased, and he chewed everything in sight. Looky there, he's finding all kinds of things to chase and to chew and to claw. That's something kittens do. Simon sculpted fluffy works of art out of several chairs and a chintz-covered couch. "Bad boy!" cried the couple, and they clipped his claws. Simon's sculptures were never the same again. The older Simon grew, the more he helped out around the house. He pruned the plants with his teeth, and he dusted all the hard-to-reach places. So he chewed on plants, and he snuck under places that are hard to get to. You think the people found that helpful? Simon's family grew in size, and so did his responsibility. Within 3 years, 2 new pets arrived, and Simon taught them both how to be good cats. In his middle age, Simon acquired a taste for classical music. He played Bach duets with his family and performed an occasional solo at midnight. So here he is. The 2 new pets were baby humans who joined the family, but he taught them how to be good cats. And then over here, when he did his solos at midnight, that meant he walked over the piano keys while everybody else was asleep. I'm not sure they found that helpful. Music always made Simon hungry, so he filled up on kitty crunchies in the kitchen. Then he hunted the wildebeests with the great cats of the Serengeti. Simon's life had been so full of mice, full of hisses, full of hugs, and full of kisses. So when he's hunting on the Serengeti, he's watching cats do that on TV. And he's got a very full life, doesn't he? Sounds very nice. I'm glad he's remembering those good things. But now things were different. Simon needed his family's help more than ever, and he felt their pity with every little pat on the head. He felt so useless that at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night, Simon stuck his bony old legs in the air and breathed his last. Uh-oh. There he is. He's put his feet up in the air, and he's taking one last breath. That doesn't sound good. Or so he thought. But then, in less than a minute, his family plopped something soft right on top of their old cat's tummy. Simon sniffed to the left, and he sniffed to the right. Why, it's a little kitten, thought Simon. Even though it had been years ago, Simon remembered how he helped the other new pets when they had come to the house. He wondered if he could still do it. What do you think? Do you think he can still do it? Do you think he can do it with the new kitten? With great difficulty, Simon climbed down from his chair and carried the kitten downstairs to a fresh saucer of milk. Then he demonstrated a whisker washing. The kitten did his best to imitate the old cat. When Simon twitched his tail, the kitten leaped onto his head, expecting to ride around the room. Oh, kittens are funny. Have you ever watched a little kitten? They do lots of silly things. A little while later, Simon led the kitten over to his box. It took so long for the kitten to heap a mountain of litter onto the floor that Simon decided to take a nap. When Simon woke up, the kitten was gone. The old cat hobbled his way back up to the calico chair to sit alone in a sliver of moonlight. It must have been a dream. There he is. He's walking back to where the sofa, or the chair was, rather. Do you think it was a dream? Or so he thought. Just then, something soft and small jumped right on top of him. Simon sniffed to the left, and he sniffed to the right. Why, it's my kitten, thought Simon. Oh, it wasn't a dream. The kitten has found him. Simon began to give the kitten a bath. He washed his little ears and licked his little nose. He groomed his frisky tail and cleaned between each of his tiny toes. Then a grumbly, rumbly purr started deep within his chest, and he curled himself around his little pet. When Simon's family saw how tenderly he cared for the new kitten, they loved him even more. So it was with the greatest respect that they gave their dear old cat a brand new name. Can you guess what that brand new name was? They called him the Grannyman. So he acts just like a granny. Wasn't that a sweet story? I hope you enjoyed it. If your grown-ups want more information about that book, they'll find it in the show notes. I hope you'll join me again sometime. Bye-bye.